Hello, mathematicians. Today we're going to be learning about fractions, more specifically about comparing fractions. Before we begin, let's go over equality and inequality symbols. So here we have our equal sign, and it means equal to, meaning that both numbers at both ends of this symbol are equivalent to each other. Then we have our greater than symbol, meaning that our first value is greater than the second value that we're given. Then we have our less than symbol, which means that our first value is less than the second value that we are given. So here we have 2/3 and 4/5. And we are going to compare these two fractions, but in order to do so, we have to find equivalent fractions that have the same denominator to make it easier to compare, because 2/3 and 4/5 have different denominators. In order to do that, we have to find the least common multiple between 3 and 5. So the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, and 15. Obviously, we could keep going, but that's where our list ends. And some multiples of 5 are 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. And notice that the smallest number that they have in common for their multiples, so our least common multiple, is 15. So our goal is to take these two fractions and make it so that they have a denominator of 15 to help us compare. So we're going to take 2/3. In order to have a denominator of 15, we're going to go ahead and multiply the denominator by 5. And whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator as well. So 2 times 5 is equal to 10, and 3 times 5 is 15. So 2/3 is equal to 10 over 15, which is going to help us compare to 4/5. So now we have to take 4/5 and make sure we have a denominator of 15 as well. In order to get a denominator of 15 here, we have to multiply 5 by 3. Whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator, so we also multiply that by 3. So 4 times 3 is equal to 12. 5 times 3 is equal to 15. And so now we have two fractions with the denominator of 15. We have 10 over 15, and we have 12 over 15. And so we're going to rewrite them. And because the denominators are the same, we can compare. So 12 is bigger than 10, so that makes 10 over 15 less than 12 over 15, which means that 2/3 is less than 4/5. So let's do another example. Here we have 5/6 and 3/8. So we can't compare them without the denominators being the same. So we have to find the least common multiple between 6 and 8. So our multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, and 30. Obviously, we could keep going, but that might be all we need. And some multiples of 8 are 8, 16, 24, 32, and 40. Obviously, we could keep going here, but we don't have to, because the smallest number they have in common is 24, making 24 our least common multiple. So we have to take these two fractions and make it so that they both have a denominator of 24 to make it easier for us to compare. So we're going to take the 5/6 and rewrite that. And in order to get a denominator of 24 here, we have to multiply the 6 by 4. And whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator as well. 5 times 4 is equal to 20, and 6 times 4 is equal to 24. So 5 over 6 is equal to 20 over 24. Then we have to take 3/8 and make it so that this also has a denominator of 24. So we have to multiply 8 by 3 to get 24. And whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator as well. So we also multiply 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is equal to 9, and 8 times 3 is equal to 24. So now that we have two fractions that are out of 24, we could compare. We have 20 over 24 and 9 over 24. 20 over 24 is greater than 9 over 24, meaning that 5 over 6 is greater than 3 over 8. Right? So here we have another example. We have 2 over 5 and 8 over 20. Notice how we have different denominators, so we have to find the least common multiple to ensure both of these have the same denominator to make it easier to compare. So our multiples of 5, which is our denominator, are 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and we could keep going. And our multiples of 20 are 20, 40, 60, 80, and 100, and we could keep going if we wanted to, but we have our least common multiple here, which is 20. So we're going to take 2 over 5 and figure out how to get a denominator of 20, which is multiplying the 5 by 4. Whatever we do to the denominator, we have to do to the numerator. So we're also going to multiply 2 times 4. 2 times 4 is 8. 5 times 4 is 20, so we end up with 8 over 20. Now, 8 over 20 already has a denominator of 20, so we could just rewrite it as it is. And now that both our fractions have the same denominator, we could compare. So we have 8 over 20 and 8 over 20, and those are equivalent to each other. So that means that 2 over 5 is equivalent to 8 over 20. So here we have our final example where we have 1 over 6 and 2 over 9. Now, in order to compare these, we have to make sure the denominator is the same. So we're going to find the least common multiple for our denominators. And our multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30, and we could keep going if we needed to. Our multiples of 9 are 9, 18, 27, 36, 45, and we could keep going if we wanted to. And here notice that our least common multiple is 18 because that's the smallest multiple they have in common. So we're going to go ahead and write 18. And now we're going to make sure that both these fractions have a denominator of 18 so that we could compare. So we're going to take 1 over 6. In order to get a denominator of 18 here, we have to do 6 times 3. And whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator. So we also multiply that by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. 6 times 3 is 18. 1 over 6 is equal to 3 over 18. Now we're going to take the 2 over 9. In order to get a denominator of 18, we have to multiply 9 by 2. Whatever we do to the denominator, we do to the numerator as well. So 2 times 2 is 4. 9 times 2 is 18. And now we have two fractions that have a denominator of 18 that we can compare. So 3 over 18 and 4 over 18. And 3 over 18 is less than 4 over 18, which means that 1 over 6 is less than 2/9. And that's it for comparing fractions.